opinions and thoughts. Really, I try to control what gets in between my ears, and as far as what reality is. And we win, I celebrate it, let's move on, try to stay humble through the process. We lose, try not to get too low, try to pick myself up and get back at it. That's just kind of been my mentality forever, and I have great peace, but I have a strong faith, and that's kind of been my anchor, if you will, in everything that I do, so and I got a great family, I got a great wife, and I think, again, for Coach Meyer, I just think that somewhere along the line, he kind of lost his balance a little bit, and these are the things that he talked about, and I think everybody's appreciative that he has been open and transparent about those type of things, because it is a grind. There's a lot of expectations. Your life's in a fishbowl, and we all get that. It comes with the territory, but I can't really relate to that. I haven't been in that situation, and hopefully never get there.
Yeah, but do you have goals as far as what you guys want to accomplish here, and then how do you divide that between what you do here and what you do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we want to. We'll practice here through the 21st, and they'll have a break the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Everybody will travel back here sometime on the 25th. We'll meet in the morning of the 26th, have our practice here, and then we'll head out to Arizona. So the biggest thing is we want to get the majority of the work done here. I think that's one thing that I've learned over the years of just with experience, especially as an assistant, was you're trying to figure out what you want to do on third down, and you're at the bowl site. That's really not the best environment to be doing that. To me, you've wasted a lot of time. We try to be efficient and be decisive, and really want to kind of finalize the plan for the most part before we take a little break. And then when we come back and you got that game week, it's about details. It's polishing. I mean, it is kind of next level from a just getting the plan down standpoint. That's really how we've tried to do it, and I think that breeds confidence and leads to good execution.
I know you said you want to get young guys work, but do you do any less of that when you've got a national title at stake and that kind of stuff, or do you kind of keep the same?
No. Shoot, I wish we could do more. We like I said, like last night, for example, we started that. We kind of decided, okay, here's the varsity, here's the JV. And we started last night, and we'll build all the way through. Eventually we'll have some good scrimmage work with those guys. But it's good. We take the varsity, we go condition them. We got a lot of conditioning. They've been off for a while. We got a good conditioning plan that we believe in as far as how we get these guys ready before we take a break. So we started that. And so while they're conditioning, we get with the JV. And last night we just started with just 10 minutes of individual. We were in shorts and just individual time, and it's awesome. It's awesome for those guys. They don't really know what they don't know, but by the time bowl season is over, and hopefully we got a national championship week as well, because if we do, we'll have some JV time there too. These guys make a ton of progress. I mean, a ton. And I think it just kind of gives them a little bit more confidence going into the spring. And so it's really good. And like I said, we'll build. We'll have individual. We'll have some crossover work, good on good. We'll have, whether it's running backs versus linebackers or whatever, OLDL. We'll have some one-on-ones. We'll have some inside. We'll have a little skelly. And then at some point we'll have some good scrimmage work with those guys. And I mean, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys out there, and a bunch of walk-ons too that get invaluable experience as well.
Coach, staying on that subject, are there a couple of players that stick out in your memory from last year who really benefited from that time, and are there any that you're particularly hoping will benefit during this bowl prep? Yeah,
there's a lot of those guys. I mean, a bunch of them. I mean, you look at C.J. Fuller last year, got a lot of work. You look at some of those young offensive linemen from last year, like a guy like Giella, who got a lot of work last year. And, you guys hadn't seen him a lot, but I saw him make good progress. We've got some of those safeties, a guy like Van Smith, who got some good work last spring or last winter as well. And just the confidence that comes from it. Some of those young DBs, some of those young corners, young linebackers. It's across the board. We got a lot of guys that made good progress.
Looking forward to seeing a guy like Zach Cooper. Just looking forward to seeing a guy like Zach Cooper in these JVs, see how he's progressed and where he's at.
Yeah, absolutely. It's huge for him. I mean, he's had very little work, very little work within our system. Outside of fall camp, he got some work. But when like I said, you get dialed in and you're getting ready to play each week, his work's been mostly mental. And in meetings and virtual reality, he spends a lot of time in the virtual reality lab. That's been good for him. But this is big for him to be able to go and go play. He gets individual, he gets some one-on-ones and things like that. But to put it now in a team setting where he's the guy out there managing the protections and handling the blitzes and making the right reads in his progressions, it's a different animal. So it's very important for he and Tucker to get a lot of extra work, in this bowl season.
Coach, I know practice just kind of picked up last night, but can you sense a huge excitement level for two guys in particular, Mike Williams, who couldn't play on this stage last year, and Deion Kane, who's out for a little bit, maybe redemption from this time last year when he wasn't allowed to play?
I don't know that I saw anything different yesterday than I've seen, all year, every week, just to go play. I think Mike has just had a great appreciation for every game, every week, and I don't think anything's different now. But I'm sure in the back of their mind, they're excited to have an opportunity that they missed out on last year. I know that was tough on Mike to not be able to participate in the Orange Bowl, and then we're going to the national championship, and he couldn't play, knowing that he could have helped. Same thing for Deion, from a discipline standpoint, and having to not only not get to play but not get to be there. So I'm sure in the back of their mind, both of those guys are thankful to have another opportunity.
Carlos Watkins is getting near the end of his time here. What are the biggest ways in which you've seen him grow and develop over the course
Maturity, just as a man. He's just was a young, immature guy when he got here, and not real serious about football, or not real serious about being great at football. Probably he was serious about football just on his terms, and just seeing him really mature. And he's a grown man. He has become an excellent leader. Wasn't really interested in leading early on, and now he's become a very good leader for us, very committed, and I'm just proud of him. He's gotten so much better as far as how he prepares, his discipline, his technique. This kid is, he's another one of those guys on this team that nobody really talks about him a whole lot, but he's got like 9 sacks or something like that, 8.5 sacks, and I think the all-time record is 10 for a D tackle. That's incredible. He's had the most sacks as a D tackle since like the 96 or 7 season around here, 20 years. And we've had some pretty good D tackles roll through here. And he's just kind of going about his business. He is a heck of a football player, and I think he's going to be drafted high. I think he has the potential to be a first or second round type of a pick when people really do their homework. He's got it all. He's strong and physical and big, a space eater to play the run, and he is incredibly athletic and gifted as a pass rusher. He can play every down. And there's not, D tackles, a lot of times you see those guys sub in and out on third downs, but he can play every down in every situation. And he's a smart player. So, it's just enormous, the growth that we've seen in him. But to me, he was a good player talent-wise when he got here with a good skill set, but it's just his maturity as a man that's been the biggest change in him.
Did you see the change happen after the accident that he was involved in?
No. In fact, that's kind of where he kind of got lost. To be honest with you, that's where I think that his biggest troubles here began. He was injured. He went from playing to not playing, and he just kind of he had a tough time, as a lot of people would in a situation like that. A young person, and it was hard on him, and just kind of got off the right path. But I'm thankful for the program that we have, the infrastructure that we have, and kind of helped get him back on track. And he's got a great family, but there was a struggle for him for a while.
You mentioned y'all had some good tackles through the years. Is this the best the interior guys have been at getting that push in the pocket and affecting quarterbacks? Like I said, I don't know. We've been really good in the past. I don't know that we've ever had anybody better than Grady. That guy, he was just unbelievable. Dominant football player, but this is a good group. But I go back to Jarvis and Brandon Thompson. We've had some dudes roll through here now inside, but this group is as good or can hold their own with anybody. There's no doubt about that. But as far as, I don't really know how to measure that. But you got a true freshman in there in Dexter right now that it's scary to think, with a couple off seasons, what this guy is going to be by the time he leaves here. So I think it's an excellent group. And a guy like Niles Pinckney, man, he's like gotten Scout Team Player of the Week about 4 or 5 times already. This guy is going to be a heck of a player for us. And we were almost that close to playing him this year, and I'm really glad we didn't. Because I think he's going to be even more prepared because of his power hour experience this fall and having to watch a little bit. But it's a good group. It's a really, really good group. I know we're going to lose Carlos, but we'll have a strong group coming back. And, most likely Christian will end up back inside before it's all said and done as well. And we got a lot of good players in there.
The defense in the first quarters, you look at stats, have been excellent, and then it tails off the rest of the game. Have you noticed any trend of just the D being really, really strong early on, then just not sustaining that throughout the game?
Well, I just think, we've played some – what teams in particular are you talking about? Pitt, we weren't really good for 4 quarters, so that one didn't tail off. Virginia Tech, we got up, but they got good players. They made some plays. We had a few mental busts, missed some tackles. We had some right where we need to be, but their guy was better than our guy. Quarterback ran through us 2 or 3 times, and that's why they were in that game. We'd like to just line up and just kill everybody for 4 quarters, but everybody's got good players. And as you go through the course of the game, people make adjustments, and sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes the offense puts them in bad situations and gives them some short fields and things like that. And all those things, matter. But I think we're 9th in the country in defense. I think all 4 of these defenses are top 10 in the country. So we've been pretty good.
You talked about the JV guys getting some playing time, and obviously you're going to have to replace a very big guy, a quarterback down the road. What do you expect to see from Kelly during these, as he probably is the veteran of the group?
Yep.
And how much can it help those guys that Deshaun is still kind of there to be a little bit of a mentor for these next few weeks?
It's great, and Deshaun takes a lot of pride in that. He always has. He's done a great job mentoring these guys. I think the biggest thing is just, and he'll go out of his way to help them, but it's just the example that he sets every single day. These guys, they don't even know what they're learning because they don't know anything else, but they come to work every day, and they come in those meetings, and they're sitting there with Deshaun, and he prepares like a coach. He takes notes like a coach. It's just unbelievable. The example that he set, and not just football-wise, but who he is as a person, how he's handled himself off the field. He's always where he's supposed to be, early, stays late. You don't have to ever say a word to him, ever. His reps are done, he runs off the field. You never have to say anything to this guy. And I think that's the biggest
impact that he's going to have on these, because they're paying attention. Trust me, they're paying attention. That's one thing I can guarantee you. Young guys pay attention to those veterans, especially those veteran great players, and that's why we're so hard on those veterans and the best players, because they set the example, and it's just important that they understand the impact that they have on the young players of this team, and it's big for a guy like Zarek to sit in there every day, even though he's not playing, but to watch Deshaun. Watch how he responds, watch how he handles the media, watch how he handles failure, watch how he handles coaching, watch how he handles success, watch how he leads, how he prepares, everything. He's had a huge impact. Zarek, for example, is doing very well. Off the field, he's doing well academically, and I think a lot of that is because of the standard in that room. Deshaun will challenge those guys, and same thing with Nick. Nick's the same way. Nick is a great leader. Nick is a heck of a leader. He's one of the best leaders we have on this team, and that's another. And he's the same way. I mean, he challenges those young guys, and I'm proud of what I've seen, because like a guy like Tucker has made tremendous growth. Kind of a immature guy when he got here, just kind of happy to be around, and he has really transformed over this past 8, 9, 10 months. Watching him get serious about it, so it helps when your best players are impactful people like that.
With Deshaun kind of, not necessarily making it official, but saying early on that at the end of the year his plan was to move on. Did it help you guys prepare a little bit for what the future might be, knowing way back in August that there was probably going to be a different quarterback next year? These guys should be taking this opportunity to ready themselves for that.
Oh yeah. We've known since Deshaun got here he was going to be here 3 years. We've understood, barring any type of injuries or anything like that how special he was, and just it was pretty quick to recognize this guy's just on another level, and so that's been part of our recruiting plan. That's why we got to go out and sign 2 quarterbacks this year. I mean, most of these teams of our stature have 6, 7 quarterbacks on scholarship. We try to operate on a number of 5. That's the number that we designate, and then we try to get us a really good walk-on in here as well. And we're going to be sitting here at 3 scholarship quarterbacks as soon as the bowl game's over. We've got a mid-year coming in. We're going to try to have another signee come in the summer, and to get us to 5. And so we're always planning. That never stops. I'm thinking about 19 and 20, believe it or not, and then you adjust as things happen. There's a lot of things that happen over the course of 2 or 3 years, but we're always planning for what's next, and that's what makes college football great. Everybody's like, "Oh God, what are you going to do?" Well, you next guy in there, you go, you do what we coach, we recruit. Next guy's opportunity, and that's just the way it is, and it's at every position. A couple years ago, last year, we had 6 D linemen leave, and when Tavares and Corey and Grady, Vic, all those guys left, and here comes Dodd, hadn't played hardly, and got a 2nd round draft pick. So that's you got to go recruit and you got to develop, and that's what we do at every position, and quarterback's no different. And then you go play, and then you get better, and guys get experience, and you move forward.
Coach, over the last few years, you've seen a lot of on the field things take place where the team has accomplished a lot. And now this week, a lot of them, including Deshaun, are going to go out there and graduate. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, special. It really is. I think we've got 13 or 14 guys graduating Thursday, and that's what it's all about. I mean, to me, that's the ultimate scorecard for me. And we've had to see these seniors finish. Some of them, we had a couple of them graduate early, like Teasdale, but the rest of them are graduating tomorrow. And I think we've only got 2 or 3 that are going to graduate in the spring. So all of them are going to be done Thursday, and I just think that's great. It just says so much about our program, the culture that we have here, and especially you look at Artavis and Deshaun, and they've graduated in 3 years. That's incredible to me. You know, I'd like to think I'm a fairly intelligent guy, and I was a pretty good student. I can't even imagine graduating in 3 years. I really can't. It just blows my mind, the amount of work that you got to put into that and balance all the things that comes with football today, especially. It's amazing to me, and I'm just proud of all of them. And that's again the ultimate scorecard. I know that they're prepared for whatever's next. Whether they have an opportunity to go play more football, they're going to be prepared. Or it's moving on in life, these guys will be prepared. And that is our number one job here, in my opinion, is to help them, you know, be prepared to go be successful after they leave Clemson, and for them to be better because of their experience here.
You just finished up another open period. Put me in the mind of Dabo, the recruiter, for just a minute. How have things changed when you go into these recruits' living rooms from when you sat down with Tony and Stephon and said, come help me build something, to now you have a BCS win, 2 college football playoff appearances? How has the pitch changed?
We're selling results. You know, that's really the biggest change. You know, we back when I started, we just selling hope. I mean, it was just, we hope, you know, we just trying to get people to believe in you, try to get people to believe in the vision that you have, the plan, and this is what we're going to do. And 8 years to see it where we are now, it's special. You know, this is our 3 out of the last 4 years we've been in a BCS or college football playoff bowl. And, you know, to know where we were 8 years ago, sitting in Taj's home, and I'm trying to recruit my first quarterback, you know, to where we are today, it's definitely a lot. I mean, we get in more homes, you know. I mean, it's easier to get people to come to save a visit for Clemson because our brand has grown so much. It's just perfect examples last year. You know, we weren't recruiting any DBs. We didn't really have any scholarships for DBs. And then all of a sudden the game's over and we got this guy's gone, this guy, because I mean I didn't really know that they were leaving until really after the game, for sure. And so I got to make sure I'm going to keep them if they want to stay. So I can't go sign scholarships that I don't have. So we really weren't in the DB business last year. And then all of a sudden, McKenzie, J-Ron, TJ, Blanks. We had guys that you know moved on, and now we get in the DB business. Well, we kind of do our research, and we're like, all right. And you're talking about this is January. We got like 2 weeks, and get on the phone with Isaiah Simmons in Kansas. He's either going to Michigan or Nebraska. I mean, this is I've never even met him, never had a conversation with him, you know, and get on the phone with him. And are you interested in, would you like to, he had, I think, 1 visit left. He's like, yeah, I'd love to come visit Clemson. Well, that's what success does. That's what our brand has done for us. 8 years ago, he wouldn't take my phone call. So that's the biggest change. And but as far as everything else, it's the same. You know, because we're still selling the same core values of our program and what we're about, the philosophy of the program. None of that has changed. The vision of that's all the same. It's all the same. It's just backed up by, you know, some pretty good results, and especially academically, you know, what we've been able to do. So all of a sudden, all right, I'm not going to come out there if you're, you know, not interested. Go out to Kansas, and now Isaiah Simmons is coming to Clemson. Because he took a visit. Next thing I know, I'm in down in Coconut Creek, and you know, Trayvon Mullen. Never even heard of Kayvon Wallace. And in fact, Urban and I had a funny conversation about Kayvon. He didn't know about him either. And he was at the airport, I think in D.C. And literally turned the plane around to go back because he needed to go see this kid. And but because he was one of those guys that kind of really blew up toward the latter part of his senior year. And so I think he took like a midweek visit. That was the only way we could work it out. So I think that's the biggest change, that you get guys like Scott Pagano that want to come visit, that kind of reach out to you and say, hey, I want to come visit Clemson from Hawaii. That's the biggest change is we've become a school that guys, even if they're not coming here, they still would like to come and check out. And I think that's been huge for us because we know here if they come, then we've got a great shot because it's a great place. And it's a great place. And a lot of people maybe have a picture of Clemson and they come here and they're like, wow, this is, I see why you guys have been successful.
Yeah, but Mark Fields played quite a bit over the second half of the year, but didn't play against Virginia Tech, I don't think. Was that like matchups or?
I guess just course of the game and just, just where we were. Ryan Carter, I think, played most of the time out there at corner, did a good job for us. Edmund got in there a little bit when we moved Ryan into nickel, but it was just I guess that game, but nothing bad. I mean, he's done a great job for us. He's a young guy that's got a bright future as well. Just sometimes you get into the flow of games and you lose sight of certain things. Just for example, Austin Bryant, after the game, he only played like 23 snaps, which kind of shocked me when I looked at the grades because other guys' snaps were kind of higher, but again, sometimes you get in the flow of the game and situations and you lose a little bit of track of that.
Dabo, you mentioned a few weeks ago that when Jay Guillermo first left the program, you didn't know if you'd ever see him again. Does his journey from start to finish, where he was, where he's gotten to, kind of rank among your favorite stories?
Absolutely. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't think I'd see him again. When he left my office, whenever that was, February maybe, that spring, and going into right after his redshirt sophomore year, I don't think I've ever seen a more broken young person and a more lost young person. And it's incredible. It really is. And just so thankful that, through a lot of people's help, he was able to kind of get himself back on track because he was just one of the best young people I've ever recruited and great home. But, again, life happens, and sometimes, especially for young people, they don't handle it the right way. But that's, it's all about how you respond, and he has been a champion. Yeah, it is. It will always be one of my greatest stories that I've been able to be a part of and share in.
You've got a young team. Is his backstory kind of known throughout the team? Is it talked about and used as a kind of inspirational?
Absolutely, because he's very transparent with that. He's done interviews. We talk about everything as a team. We don't really. We're very transparent and open about everything that's going on, and especially guys like Jay who become great leaders for you, and they recognize the platform and they recognize they see themselves in